This is part 2 of your dividing decimals notes. All right, so we talked about dividing decimals when the decimal is in the dividend and the divisor. Now we're going to talk about when it's just in the dividend, the number that you're dividing into. So we're going to draw our place value lines. As mentioned, you don't have to draw your place value lines, but they do keep your numbers in an orderly fashion. Then we bring our decimal point straight up. We divide normally, and we be sure the decimal is in the right place. So let's look at example number 1. Martin bought a computer for $718.68. He must pay for it in 12 months. How much will he pay each month? All right, so let's write our problem. So we have $718.68, and we're dividing it by 12. All right, so it says in our notes, okay, you can do your place value lines if you want to keep your numbers in alignment, but it says to bring our decimal point straight up into our quotient. So I'm going to put it right above where it is in our dividend. Then I'm going to divide by 12, just like I normally would do long division. So 12 goes into 71 5 times, which is 60. And I'm left with 11. I bring down my 8, and that's 9 times, which is 108. It leaves me with 10. Then I bring down my 6, all right, and that's going to be 8 times, which is 96, which gives me 10. And then I'm going to bring down my 8, and it'll be 9 times, which is 108, and I'm left with 0. So he'll be paying $59.89 per month for 12 months. All right, let's look at the next problem. When the decimal is in a divisor only. So when the decimal is in the divisor only, the decimal, we're going to move the decimal in the divisor to make a whole number. Then we're going to put our hidden decimal in the dividend at the end and move it the same number of places. Remember, we move it the same number of places because we want to keep the numbers equivalent. Then we divide as normal, and we be sure the decimal is in the right place. All right, so Giovanna bought 287 yards of fabric to make dresses. Each dress uses 3.5 yards of fabric. How many dresses can she make? All right, so we're dividing 287 yards by 3 5/10 yards of fabric. All right, so our steps tell us to make 3.5 a whole number, so we move our decimal point 1 time, and we get 35. And remember, what we do with our divisor, we also have to do with our dividend. So we add our decimal, okay, behind our ones place digit, and we move it 1 time because we moved it 1 time in our divisor. All right, so now we have 2,870, and then we add our decimal. Then we bring our decimal up into our quotient. Then we divide as we normally would. All right, so I'm going to erase this part because I rewrote it in an equivalent fraction, equivalent decimal. So we have 35 is going into 287, and that's going to be 8 times, which is 280. Leaves me with 7. Then I bring down my 0, and I do 2 times, which is 70. I'm left with 0. So she can make 82 dresses with the 287 yards